UFC Fight Night, main evented by Ankalaev versus Santos. We have an absolute banger in Marlon Moraes versus Song Yadong. Someone that's not had the best, luck recently within fights with Marlon Moraes, and someone that's had a tremendous amount of success and is only 24 years old and has been in the UFC since he was a late teenager in Song Yadong. This is going to be epic. But before we get into it, guys, this video is sponsored by Full Reptile Collective, brought to you by Dan Hardy. Head over to their website at fullreptile.co.uk where you can find anything from training gear, t-shirts, hoodies, all the way to coffee. For an exclusive 10% off, use Dan Said So at checkout. Make sure to also check out their YouTube channel for some of the best MMA content out there, bar my own. Let's get back to the video. Alright guys, let's start with Marlon Moraes. Now before we discuss, he's only won 1 out of the last 5 fights, and that fight being Jose Aldo, which I would argue over 90% of the MMA community believe he lost that fight. Aldo got the title shot straight after it, so I think Dana White even went, Aldo got robbed. Bad judging decision. So in my head right now, he has lost 5 of the last 5. Now these are against very good people. Corey Sandhagen's in that list, Jose Aldo, Rob Font, to name 3. The guy fights extremely traditional, which is possibly the worst way you could probably fight against Song Yadong in my opinion here. He has an absolutely great left hook, great right hook. It's a hook fight in my head. He's got brilliant switch kicks, low kicks, high kicks, mixes it up tremendously well, great taekwondo skills, but he uses it more kickboxing style. Takes a step back, launches it. There's no tell in it, no telegraphing whatsoever. And that's what makes it really dangerous. You saw it against Aljamain Sterling. He stepped in, hit him, and he actually caught him with the knee, not with the shin at all. He did it against Jimmy Rivera within the first few seconds of the fight. Hit the center of the cage. Jimmy takes a step back. He takes a step back. They go into and he absolutely completely dummies him with a fade. Looks like he's about to lead with the right hook, over the top left, high kick, smashes Rivera down. He's done this time and time again in his career. He did a lot in World Series of Fighting, which is now known as the PFL, guys, for those who don't know. It's a real mix-up here because what he does really well is stand traditionally. When he overextends and when he throws big power shots, he tends to miss and make himself look a little silly, like he did with Corey Sandhagen. Through that whole first round, Corey Sandhagen was kind of teeing him up with low kicks, using complete distance and pressuring him. The guy crumbles under pressure. The guy crumbles when someone's got so much movement for them. When someone can dart in and out and he can't quite catch them, I feel like he kind of breaks down. He gasses quite early. I'd say he's got about 6 minutes of really quality good fighting in him. I don't think he's finished. I think he's had a real rough ride in the last few fights. But he's been pieced up. Rob Font destroyed him, in my opinion, Absolutely teed him. He's been finished by Marab. Corey Sandhagen wheel kicked him in the second round. Jose Aldo in that second and third round just turned up the volume and was vintage Aldo. Sat in the pocket and traded all day. And that's really worrying against someone as ferocious and as blitzy and as scary as Song Yadong. So Song Yadong has won 7 out of his 9 UFC fights. 1 draw, 1 loss. The loss, I believe, to Kyler Phillips. The draw to Corey Stamen. Other than that, he's got a completely perfect record. There's one blip, which is the Marlon Vera fight, which in my opinion was his toughest fight to date. I don't think he won that fight. I think most people thought Marlon won 2-1. I wouldn't go as far to say it was a robbery, but I think it was borderline. It was just a bad decision. I think Song learned a lot in that fight. He really was competitive with Marlon Vera as well. They both had more in the tank as well to give. If that was a 5-round fight, you might have seen Song, turn it up in rounds 4 and 5. I think he's got great cardio. As I said, what Marlon kind of suffers with is pressure. I feel like Song can put major pressure on Marlon here. I feel whenever he gets into a clinch, much like Yan Xiaonan, they kind of hook their way out of it. They throw absolute heat from the pocket to make you back off. And he's got serious knockout power with that dart in, overhand right, clips, and he proper can crack for a 135er. The Julian Arce fight in his most recent win, that was a complete beautiful set up with the high kick. The high kick landed, backed Julian up, and what did he do? He was like, I'm going to quickly position myself, land the perfect shot here. You can see him tee himself up and then unleash and absolutely just finish the fight. He didn't just bull rush in, he went calculate, rush. Calculate, bull rush. That's what he does. He's an absolute expert at blitzing in. You watch the Perez fight. That overhand right there. This is this is where Marlon's got to really watch it, because he stands so traditional. He has great kicks, but to land those kicks, he's going to really have to make Song respect the power, because what Song does well is pressurize, use the cardio to his advantage. He's got a great gas tank, and he has serious knockout power. It's a real tough fight for Marlon. Not saying he can't win, but I think he has to implement the leg game, his kicking game, big time in this. Make him respect the power, get him to back off, and then use and put pressure on Song. I think he has to make Song back up in this fight, because if Song controls the tempo, if he dictates the pace, if he puts the pressure up, you're going to see Marlon crumble. You know, he's going to turn into a wet cookie, and Song's going to clean him up, and I really believe he'll finish him. So that's what I think, guys. I think Song going to win. I'm going to say round 2 knockout. It's a real barn burner, this one. It's a hard fight to call. It's a hard fight to break down as well. Research into this one, you know, guys, Marlon's really good. He's not won in the last few, which might, you know, makes me think he's on his way out. It's a tough weight cut for him as well. Song is just so young, so dynamic, so explosive, so brilliant to watch. I just feel like it's his time. Let me know in the comments, guys, who you think is going to win. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers all.